Welcome back to another episode of Believe in Mavs, or as you now know it, Felts and Tass. Raymond, big game here for the Celtics. They now have 2 wins to the Heat's 3, going back to Miami. This is a series, game 6. And maybe for Miami, this is game 7. What are your initial thoughts on the Celtics dominating this game?
They basically turned the game around on Miami. They basically played the same way Miami were playing, sharing the ball, not nobody really scoring a lot of points. Just a whole bunch of guys with about 15 to like 19 points, and
Right.
just sharing the ball and playing together, playing defense the way I know Boston can play defense. And
Hitting
like you said,
shots.
hit shots. Like you said, it's a series now. Like the pressure is back on Miami. Miami doesn't win this game in Miami next game, game 6. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because now you leave it up in the air for anything to happen when, everybody felt like, y'all went up, you go up 3-0, this series is over. But now, Boston, fights back, shows their resilience, and just shows how special this team is to really make this a playoff series now. So
Yeah.
this is gonna be interesting. Game 6 is gonna be interesting.
No, I mean, Derek White came to play tonight. Marcus Smart came to play. They both shot the ball tremendously well. I mean, you mentioned they basically had 4 guys that scored 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
You get 80 plus points from 4 guys on good shooting.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking pretty good in the game, especially this Boston team that shoots, as many threes as they do. If they're going to shoot 40+% at the volume that they're shooting, 45 attempted threes a game, sometimes more, that's tough to beat. I don't care who you're playing at that point. And they obviously dominated the turnover battle, converted on those turnovers. Did you feel like Miami was really missing Gabe Vincent in this game? Because I certainly felt so, at least from a ball handling standpoint. I thought that a lot of guys got stuck after they had already used their dribble and were looking for a bailout from a guy trying to get open from the wing. And when you have guys like Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, who are elite in the passing lane, turned into a lot of fast break layups for the Celtics. But I thought Gabe was missed big time.
Oh, no question. You ain't talking about Gabe, a guy that's playing at a high level right now for them.
Highest level of his career.
Yeah, so he definitely was missed 100%. So Spoelstra's a great coach.
Yeah,
I know he's going to figure it out, but they definitely got to play better. I mean, it's that simple. That wasn't a Miami team that's been playing this whole entire, playoff series. Not even just this one, just from the time they played Milwaukee. That wasn't the same team that I seen tonight. It was different basketball, and that was weird.
What do you think about, because they ran zone pretty much the entire first half.
Mm-hmm.
When you saw a zone, were you just licking your chops? Was it like, all right, time to go? Because it feels like it's beatable, right? When you have a team like the Celtics who can shoot that well and that many guys on they can go 5 out and truly each one of those guys can hit at a 35% plus clip from 3.
No question. I mean, but then on top of that, like when I see zone, I feel like, okay, they can't guard us. So they're getting back in the zone just to, I don't know, basically stop us from, trying to run our offense, and they just feel like they can't guard us.
Right.
Or you tired. So it could be a lot of that too. It could be a lot of Miami exerting a lot of energy, and they're tired right now. They're really just trying, maybe they was trying to get to game 6. Just like, man, let's play it best as we can. Let's play a zone. Let's not to try to exert so much energy, and let's try to close this thing out in game 6. I don't know. I mean, it's just the way they played tonight is just not Miami Heat basketball that I'm used to seeing. So I don't know. I'm just trying to throw some things out there.
Yeah. Why do you think it's so much easier for an offensive team when they're matched up against the zone to get offensive rebounds?
You saying why is it so easy?
I feel like it's a lot easier than man to man. I mean, my head immediately goes to, okay, if you're a man to man, even if you're in help, you at least know where your guy is, so you know which guy that you potentially have to box out, right? Yeah. So in zone,
a lot of cross matching happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's definitely tougher to try to box out while you're in a zone and you're trying to play an area. And what if there's 2 guys in your area? Who you gonna go box out? Now you got guys just running to the basket trying to trying to go offensive rebound. It's kind of tough. But,
Well, none of them are as big as Robert Williams. And like anyone on the Heat team isn't as big as him. So
yeah.
do you think 146 series have happened where there's been a 3-0 lead? A team has never dropped the 3-0 lead. Does this feel like a historical moment here?
Uh,
Just gut check.
it could happen, man. I mean, Boston. It's not they surprise me because I know how good Boston can be.
Yeah.
But the fact that like I said, they're coming back and playing the way they are, it wouldn't surprise me if they came back and won these series. It wouldn't. But I would be disappointed though. I would be disappointed because I feel like Miami has been the better team in the Eastern Conference. They've been a better team. They've been playing better than everybody else. So I feel like they deserve to, be Eastern Conference champs and go on and try to play for the finals. But with that being said, I don't know. I just don't know if there would be a good matchup for Denver.
Well, I don't know if either team is going to be a good matchup for Denver, to be honest.
True.
I will say this, like this Celtics team, as good as they've been in the last 2 games, this is not abnormal for them.
Right.
They've been like this the entire season where
Up
on
and
any
down.
given night, they can look like the best team in the NBA.
Right.
But then the next night, they look completely different. They should have swept Atlanta. There was no reason that series should have gone to 6, in my opinion. They should have not gone to game 7, Philadelphia.
I mean, with Philly, yep.
And I know James Harden had 2 unbelievable closes to games in that series, game 1 and game 4. And that has a lot to do with why it went to game 7. So sometimes you just have to tip your cap to a guy. But I didn't feel like that series should have gone to 7. And they went down 3-0 in this series. So to me, I looked at, and they've gone halfway there, right? They've already won 2 games, but this is not the team that has proven to me that they have that mental fortitude to win 4 games in a row.
Yeah. That's true. Because there's no telling who we might see coming up this next game 6.
Yeah.
And if they play any way that they play, like if they have one of those spills where they're not a good team or they're not playing well, they're going home. They're going home. Miami, one thing I know about Miami, they are going to come and be ready to play in Miami. This game 6, Jimmy Butler's going to be ready to go. Everybody else going to be ready to play their role, shoot shots, make shots. Bam is going to play at a high level. This team is going to be ready to play because they know they can't afford to go back to Boston for game 7. So they best believe they're going to get the best of Jimmy Butler for this game 6.
So as a former Knicks player, did you hate both of these teams?
Not really.
No.
Nah. I mean, Miami was good because that was the LeBron era. LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh era when I was in New York. So, it was some battles, but believe it or not, we beat them. Like when I was there, we beat Miami 4-1, 3-1 that year. Like I felt like we was a better matchup for them in the second round. Well, in the conference. Actually, no, in the conference finals. If we'd have beat Indiana that year, we'd be in the conference finals.
Right.
After the second round, like we was a better matchup for Miami than Indiana was. I just felt like we was all the way around the board. Like we matched up better to them. And who knows what would have happened? They might have beat us. We might have beat them. But just the way we played against them in that regular season, I just felt like, the odds was in our favor. Better than Indiana, should I say.
But never like
this was a good team.
Good team. Because that was PG and Hibbert,
David West, George Hill, Lance Stevenson. Like it was good. It was really good.
Yeah. But never like animosity to like the city. Did you feel that rivalry though, at least with Boston though? Because Boston and New York.
Boston was a big rivalry.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was a rivalry from the first time I was there. They all of them was together, the big 3.
Right.
The big 3 with Rondo. So the big 4. To me, Rondo was just as important as any of them.
Crucial.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was some good battles with Boston. There was some good battles with Miami. I mean, it was just during that time, man. The game was so loaded during that time, man. It was fun every night for real.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking about it with one of my buddies. Like when you look from 2000 to 2012, you have LeBron, Kobe, Dirk, Timmy D, Shaq, KG, Paul Pierce, D Wade, like those guys that I just named, they're all top 25 players of all time.
Yeah, hello.
Melo, Carmelo,
Yeah, I was just
NBA,
saying.
NBA. So we'll get to him in a second, but I want to, LeBron, I mentioned obviously. So
Steve Nash, all those
Steve
guys.
Nash.
Yeah, like, Steve Nash in the era with him and Amari, down in Phoenix,
Yeah.
that was crucial. Them boys, they was good with the Matrix,
Yeah. They were pretty good.
Barbosa.
They were pretty good.
Man,
Yeah.
listen, man. Phoenix was good. They put up points too, man. But
Joe Johnson for a second on that
ooh,
team too. Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah. So LeBron, do you, do you think he's going to retire?
no,
Yeah.
not a chance.
What, like, why would he?
I don't think he's gonna end his career like that. Getting swept. I just don't think he'll do it. And if he do, then that would surprise me. But just him being the competitor that he is,
It's late where
I
you
can't
are.
see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But him being the competitor that he is, no, I don't see him. No, I don't see him walking away from the game like that. No, I can't see it.
So you think it's more to do with that, how this season ended then? Because obviously, like, it's out there, right, in the ether that he wants to play with Bronny.
Exactly.
And Bronny's headed to USC. If he's a one and done, he'll be in the NBA by next fall. It's not by the following fall, right, of 2024. That's not that far away. That's one more season. But obviously, the wear and tear of how long this guy's been playing basketball, the offseason is crucial. Another full NBA season is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they get to the playoffs, that's even more mileage just on your body in general. But to me, I think it's very doable that he can play with his son.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's like two options, it feels like, because if that year in 2 years is his last year, hypothetically, he can either play with Bronny and force his way on to that team that drafts him. And we know that LeBron can do that. It's possible. They'll make it happen. He'll make it happen. Do you think or the other option is he has his kind of farewell tour, right? Like Wade had, like Kobe had, like Dirk had, like so many guys have had. And for him, that's going to be really meaningful to go to all the different places, that all the different teams that he's played against, say goodbye to the fans, not only the fans of those teams, but just LeBron fans in general.
Mm-hmm.
Say goodbye to the coaches and players that he's competed against. Do you think he's going to separate that from Bronny as to kind of not overshadow like his son's first year in the league?
I think it's something. I think
because he'll still play against him, right? He'll still play against him.
I think it's bigger than Bronny. I think it's bigger than that because he wants to play with his dad. I think it's something they probably talked about in the house as them growing up, and I think it's something that, LeBron James is your dad. So, a lot of things is going to get overshadowed because you Bronny Jr. But
yeah,
I feel like the kid has made a name for himself. He's really good.
Yeah.
And I think that, that's part of life. Your dad is, considered one of the greatest to play the game. So, you got to deal with that. You got to deal with that, he's going to get that shine no matter where he's at, where he goes.
Yeah. So for
Whether
him, like
he's
knowing
playing
it's
with you, knowing
it's inevitable. Right.
your
Right.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's going to probably be happy. Like, he is. This might be my first year in the NBA, but he's passing that torch to me. Like,
Right.
he's going to play.
And you've got a
me.
long career ahead of you too.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So I don't see it like that. I don't think Bronny would take it like that. And I wouldn't think that he would look at it like that. I think it would be like, man, I got a chance to play in the league with my dad before he retired. I think that's amazing.
Amazing. Do you think he could play to 45?
I think he play as long as he wants to. Honestly, take care of his body. You know, yeah. I mean, he's just the way he plays and just the things he can do. I mean, he can turn out to just be a jump shooter
That's what I was
and
gonna
a
say.
guy
What if
and a
what if
guy that passes the ball. Like
in
so.
2 years, if he's a 40% plus shooter from three,
Mhm.
like yeah, why wouldn't he be out there? And he doesn't have to hang in the post and he doesn't have to drive and take it as aggressively to the hoop as he typically does.
No, he's a guy that can pass the ball, so he can go on a good team and be a facilitator, and not. He already got the scoring record,
Right.
so you know, like you could just add on to that. It's not like you're trying to catch anything. It's all about just passing time, playing a game you love to play, trying to win games, and see if you can get on a good team and just be a guy that's like just a facilitator. Like he can be even better Draymond Green, should I say?
Yeah.
Because he can pass the ball. He can shoot better than Draymond. You know what I'm saying? And he can, still be a guy that you can give the ball to. He can go get a bucket for you. Especially if he's a guy that don't have to exert that much energy throughout the whole game. And then you got him in the fourth quarter, he can go get a shot for you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I've seen a lot of things out there. He can go to Golden State. He can go here. He can go there. So, I don't know if he'll lead LA, especially knowing that Bronny now is at USC.
Yeah. Now
I don't think
yeah, it feels pretty set in stone. And obviously nothing has been said yet, but just reading the tea leaves a little bit. This team is ready to compete. They'll retool and some of their rotation guys might change a little bit. We'll see what happens with D'Lo. I think that's probably the biggest question mark. But
nah. Biggest
nah,
question mark is Reeves. Can they keep him?
to me, it's not a question mark because they have to re-sign that guy.
Can they keep him? If they can't afford to give him the money that somebody else, there's no way this kid who's not making big money right now, staying in Los Angeles, you know,
Yeah.
there's no way he can leave $30 to $50 million on the table just to stay in LA, unless somebody's making that up for him in like endorsement deals.
I just feel like Pelinka knows that he's worth it. That he
But I'm saying, do they have the money to offer him? Because what I heard is they can only offer him about 50.
I'll give him 70.
Well, he's going to get 80. He's going to get offered 80 for somebody else.
He should.
So
he's a really good player.
Yes,
yeah.
they're going to have to match it. I mean, if Duncan Robinson get 95, he should get 95.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, what are we talking about?
Well, I know, but
Duncan
like
Robinson's getting 95 million. So,
but we're also talking about that he shouldn't have gotten that though. Although I will say,
but he got it.
I love watching that guy. I love watching Duncan Robinson play.
No question. He can shoot the ball, and he's right. He's
such a good cutter.
During his playoffs, he's been himself again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he lost confidence for a little bit or what happened.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But now he's back to himself, and that's another big reason of why they've been winning some games, because he's been coming off the bench, lighting it up. Like, he's been playing great. But Reeves is a better player. He hits big shots and wants to take big shots. And he can play. I like him on defense. He ain't scared of nobody. He don't back down from no one.
Nobody.
Listen, I love this kid. So I think this kid is worth 80 to 90 some $1 million.
Like, he averaged 20 points per game in the conference finals. You could run pick and roll with him and AD. Like,
give that man 90 million and keep him there.
Give him the bag. Give him the bag.
Yes, he deserved it. He showed up when he was supposed to. He played good all year, and he showed up when a lot of people don't. A lot of people have good regular seasons, but when them game lights hits and that playoff starts, a lot of people fold, and he didn't fold. His game actually got better.
Not at all. The interesting thing about him, I think, there was a team late in the second round that was going to draft him, and he said, "Don't. I'm gonna put the chips in my own hand." And then he went and balled out in the summer league for the Lakers because that's who he wanted to play for, or that's one of the teams that he wanted to play for. I don't think it was like Lakers or bust for him, obviously, but so he likes this team, he likes this city, a guy that's built for that moment. I mean, they're gonna love LA because the stars shine brighter in LA.
Listen, and he may take 50. I'm just saying, I just heard that that's all they can offer him. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
People put speculations out there.
Everything on everything.
It would
Yeah.
be crazy to leave $30 million on the table.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it'd be crazy to do that. That young, and go get your money. Like, you deserve it. Like, if the Lakers can't give it to you, I'm sorry, you gotta go.
Right.
I know he liked the Lake Show. I know he do. The big lights. I get it, but they got to find a way to get rid of some people, do whatever they got to do to up that man money. I don't know what they got to do. Seriously.
You think they're gonna come for Kai in Dallas? You think that's real?
I think it's a possibility. With them losing, yeah. I think it's a strong possibility. They're gonna get rid of some people. I think they're gonna try to keep Dennis. Those guys like Dennis. They love Dennis. They're gonna try to keep him. Probably gonna try to, like you say, get rid of D'Lo. Can you keep Hachimura though? I don't think he can keep him. He's good though.
No, not if you want Kyrie, no way. No way. He's in that trade. Mm-hmm. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I mean, I want to watch Kai and Luka, obviously, but like if he gets moved, I like Hachimura a lot. I watched him in the World Games when he was playing for Japan, and I was this guy is a baller.
Do you let Hachimura, do you let Mamba, and do you let Reeves go for Kyrie?
A big who can protect the rim and be a defensive anchor.
Because that's what Dallas needs.
A versatile 3-4 wing who can shoot, spot up, also get his own shot, run the floor, defend wings.
That's what Dallas needs.
And a combo guard that can play alongside him and run the bench unit. Yes, please.
But what I'm saying is, do the Lakers let that go for Kyrie?
Kyrie Irving, man.
I understand that, but we just talked about Austin Reeves now. Are you willing to let, because they're saying that's what the Lakers is known for, letting go young talent, and then their young talent goes somewhere else and they bloom. So do you let Austin Reeves go, who's been tremendous for this team? Do you let Mamba, who hasn't had the opportunity to play, but we know his potential, we know his upside? Do you let that go? Long, 7-footer, can shoot.
Yeah.
Definitely another shot blocker like Anthony Davis.
Hook 'em horns, baby. Yeah.
Do you let him go? And Hachimura, who I think is a really good upcoming 3-man / 4-man. That's really good. And he can play defense, and to me, he can play. I like his game. So to me, Dallas gets the steal out of that. I love Kyrie, and there's nobody in this league that can do the things that Kyrie can do when he comes to play. So it's not like the Lakers is going to be hurting, but are you willing to give all of that up for one guy?
Yeah, here's what I'll say about the Lakers, and I'm going to bring up our Dallas Mavericks in this comparison. Dallas Mavericks win the NBA championship. One of the most important pieces on that team, because, and we'll transition to Melo with this. The team that was built around Dirk Nowitzki as the number one star on the Dallas Mavericks in 2011 was intentionally and perfectly crafted for him to make a long playoff run. Sean Marion, 3-4 versatile defender, one of the best defenders we've seen since the year 2000. Mm-hmm. Tyson Chandler, ultimate rim protector, lob catcher, rebounder, gritty guy that you compare alongside Dirk, who, as incredible as Dirk is, not a great defender, matador. You blow by me. And I can't athletically keep up with you. That's who Dirk was on defense. Mm-hmm. Decent weak side blocker, actually. He had good instincts and great hands. So not surprised by that. Jason Kidd, veteran guard, size, who could play. He can defend up, positions up, right? Pretty much defend 1 through 3, and not going to burn you on the defensive side because he's so smart. Deshaun Stevenson. Defender. You bring Jet off the bench for the extra offense. Like, it's just the team, and Karan Butler didn't even play that much because he was hurt coming back from an injury. Stojakovic off the bench too, sharpshooter. Like, it was just a incredibly crafted team.
No, it was. No, they had vets with a mixture of young, with a couple little young guys, but not that young. Throw in JJ Barrera in there.
Right.
He was fast, just get in the paint, just do stuff. Brian Cardinal, just guys who just knew how
Yeah.
to play.
The custodian.
That was
Yeah.
just the ultimate veteran team, and it was like you say, it was picked to win right then. Like,
And to
if we
win,
don't win this year, we're gonna break all of this up.
and to help Dirk win, right?
Yeah.
Acknowledging who their number one, which like there was no question about it, obviously.
Mhm.
And then you look at the Lakers who won in the bubble, and so the year after they win, Tyson Chandler doesn't get re-signed, right? And he goes to New York.
Mhm.
He has an excellent year. Was he defensive player of the year that the following season? I think he might have been, or runner up. Regardless,
I'm trying to think. Was he defensive player of the year when I was with him? Was he? I know he made the All-Star game that year.
it was an All-Star. Maybe it was an All-Star.
I know he was defensive player of the year one year.
I think it was the year after he left. I think it was the year after he left the Mavs, the year before you got there. Yeah.
Yep. And then the year I got there, he made the All-Star game.
There you go. So they let him walk. And then the Mavericks don't do anything for the next 8 years, basically. They do, but not to the level of success that they had the previous year.
Yeah.
Right. The Lakers win in the bubble in 2020. They let Alex Caruso walk because they don't want to pay him, who was a crucial element to that team because he had shooting, spacing, he could slash, and he defended the primary ball handler of the opposite team. I just don't think you can make the same mistake twice and let Austin Reeves walk. He's too important to the team this year that got to the Western Conference Finals, who got knocked off by Nikola Jokic, who in my opinion right now is the best basketball player on the planet. And who has a team around him that's built to let him and make him succeed. So if you're the Lakers, like you can't let Reeves walk.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say, but that's gonna be a tough situation.
Right.
You know, I just know how teams do. Well,
we
didn't win. I like him. We don't want to lose him, because he could be the future. But this is a franchise that wants to win right away.
Yeah.
They don't want to wait. So I don't know. I see a lot of franchises make those mistakes.
So, okay, LeBron not going to retire. Done with that. Carmelo just did retire. And I saw a nice little video that the New York Knicks put together. Yours truly was featured in that video. Brought up the McDonald's All-American game that y'all played on the same team in. Yep. We don't need to talk about the MVP of that game. Nobody cares about that Duke guy, whatever. Had you played against Melo prior to that in high school, or was that the first time you had been on the court with him?
Oh no, we played against each other in AAU, camps. So
yeah,
we know each other. Me, him, and Maury. Was like the top three players in our class, that year.
What did you think of him as a player back then, like before he gets to the NBA?
It was the same way, man.
It was
just smooth, can shoot the ball, mid-range three, get to the basket, uses his body, knew how to use his body well. He knew how to post up. I never seen a kid that can post up the way he could at that age. Like, just how he played in the league.
Yeah.
He played like that in high school. It was funny. Like, he didn't change his game at all. He just got better. Like, he didn't change nothing. Like, he still would post up, face you up, turn his back to you, whatever he wanted to do. That's the way he played in high school. It was crazy. It was funny, man. But yeah,
did he yell about the rebounds back then the same way that he did when he got to the league?
Nah, not like that.
Had to get the
a lot of good memories, man. Like I put out in that video, like we played in so much stuff together. USA basketball in high school, like just camps, AAU, like just the battles, just the grind. You know what I'm saying? Like just the grind, like from us being little boys to being grown men to going through the whole process of, Maury went straight out of high school.
Right.
Melo went 1 year. I went 3 years. Me and Melo both got national championships in college. Man, the one thing I hate for him and for myself is not getting an NBA championship.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we both are winners. I feel like we know how to win. We
Right.
both won at every level. You know what I'm saying? Like we've won national champions. Actually, me and won a national championship together in AAU. You know, we won a national championship together in AAU. I won state championship twice in high school. You know what I'm saying? He won state championship. He won championship, I think, with Oak Hill back in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, both of us getting those championships in college. You know, so just to not get to that point, you know, in the NBA, just, I don't know, kind of just makes me feel like, you know, that I had a great career, 14 years. Listen, I can't complain. From a guy from Little out of South Carolina, like, look, I had an amazing career. I don't care what nobody say. Can't take that from me. I had a great career. I played 14 years in the NBA. Melo played 19. So just for us not to be able to get that, and I wish we could have got that together. And that would have been a story to talk about. You know, three guys who played with each other since high school, played, you know, same McDonald's game, all of that.
Yeah.
You know, and all of us was on that same team with each other at that time when we was really good in New York. So, you know, that would have
been the pregame 5-minute mini documentary before game 3 right there. That's what it was. And
you know what I'm saying? So that would have been fun just to, you know, get that championship with those guys, man, to be able to celebrate and just be able to just reminisce about, you know, where it all started for all of us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, proud of that dude, man. Melo, just from, you know, the way he grew, just the player he became, and just the icon he became. You know, he's top 75 of all time. You know what I'm saying? So
top 75.
Well deserved too. He's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
As he should.
Yeah. So, you know, just, and that's a brother, you know. That guy's a brother to me for life. You know, there's whenever we see each other, it's like we see each other every day. I just saw him probably about maybe three weeks ago in Atlanta at the EYBL, and we probably hadn't seen each other for about maybe close to a year, maybe longer than that. You know what I'm saying? Just not seeing each other in person.
Right.
And it was like, you know, just hugs and like we see each other every day. You know, so he's family, man. So it's just interesting to see what he's going to do next outside of following Cayenne around and watching his career grow.
I like him. He's a good hooper, man. His son, he can play.
He can play.
No, I mean, NBA 75, 6-time All-NBA, 2012, 13 scoring champ. He was the USA Olympic all-time scorer until Longhorn Kevin Durant had to surpass him. Ridiculous. 10-time All-Star. He had 14 seasons. You said 18 seasons. 14 seasons over 20 points per game. The guy, definition bucket. And he is. And I think, like, I bring up Dirk, and y'all's team, your New York team, was really, really good. This is more, I guess, talking about Denver. And some with the injuries that y'all sustained, that was tough, especially for Amari, obviously. But he's similar to Dirk in the way that he as incredibly advanced offensive player. But of course, the biggest criticisms always came for him on the defensive side. And I felt like he never had a team around him that could have properly elevated him to get to the finals, where then he could have done what he did best and scored 35 points per game. And I hope that people don't think less of him 10 years down the line, because he was, for me, like y'all were playing, I was watching as a young kid. And I was talking to my dad the other day about it. Like, when 2003, for young kids who were 8 years old, like, you had a choice. You had to make a choice. And your choice was, of those three guys, LeBron, D Wade, and Carmelo Anthony, who did you want to be like? Who did you want to play like? Who was the guy that you were going to root for? And I was like, the guy that just won. Like, the guy that just won, obviously. The guy that just won an NCAA championship, who just cut down the net. So when I was, 8 years old, I was wearing 15, and I wanted to be like Carmelo. And my best friend was a LeBron fan. And I was like, well, I don't want to do what my best friend's doing. So I definitely don't want to be a Bron fan. And then a couple years into it, I will admit, my allegiance changed a little bit to D Wade. I just loved the way that he played, and he was a guard just like I was. But until he played Dallas, and then I was like, okay, I can't like this guy anymore. But I always had a soft spot for Melo, and I think aesthetically, so much of it had to do with what you're talking about, like the way he played the game. To have what you're describing as a post game, young. A lot of guys don't even know how to play in the post anymore at all.
No. Everybody wanted to just shoot threes.
And he had the high post. He had the jab work.
Mm-hmm.
The jumper looks as good as anybody's jumper that I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, just to go back to what you were saying earlier, when you got a guy that is that high volume of a scorer, you don't look for him to play no defense.
Right.
People talk about that, and it's like, that's not what he's out here for. We're not bringing him out here to get stops. You left that to me. You left that to Iman Shumpert.
Yeah.
You left that to Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Like guys who, was going to play defense. We didn't need Melo to do that. You know what I'm saying? And what hurt us is we had some key guys go down that just hurt us. Melo wasn't 100% in the playoffs.
Yeah.
JR had knee issues in the playoffs. Melo had a shoulder injury in the playoffs that he was playing through. Tyson wasn't 100%. J. Kidd was banged up, playing all those minutes all year. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just like we became unhealthy at the end of the season, and it was unfortunate, because we were still good enough to beat Boston, but with a banging team like Indiana, they was just physical. They was physical. They was beating us up. Those guys wasn't, 100%. And, I just wish, Amari was never really healthy that whole year.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I just wish.
I mean, that's how hard it is.
That team, exactly. And that's how it happens every year. Do you think Milwaukee expected to lose Giannis
for 2 games? No chance. No.
For 2 games? Like, no.
Chris Middleton last year? No, they didn't expect that. You don't put your team together expecting those things. Gabe Vincent goes down. K Love missed some time. Oladipo's out for the rest of the playoffs. Tyler Hero is not coming back until the finals if they get there. And guess what? They lost 2 in a row. Gabe Vincent mattered, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show. So imagine multiple guys getting hurt, not just one.
Coming back?
They need him. I imagine so.
What did he do?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't even know either. I didn't know he was out. I don't know, man. Like, it's just, things happen, just like with Denver. How many years Denver been going through that same pain?
Right.
Being a good team, but, Jokic kind of wheeling them through for the last 2 years. That's why he was MVP the last 2 years. Should have been it this year. But that's I'm going to just say that, but I don't care. I think he should have gotten 3 years in a row. But
ankle, by the way, ankle.
Okay. But to get everybody back healthy, to know that Jamal Murray is your guy, and to stick with him through that injury and wait till he gets back 100%, that shows that a franchise really loved you and really wanted you and really believed in you. Now, that's a story right there that I love. And I love the Denver Nuggets for that. The fact that they stuck with this guy and say, no, we're not going to try to trade you or try to get rid of you. We're going to wait till you get back from this injury.
Right.
We're going to go through these growing pains. We're going to get better as a team. Everybody else is going to get better. And we're going to add that missing piece, which was him, which was Michael Porter Jr., which was Aaron Gordon, which is Caldwell Pope.
Yeah. Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown.
Drafting Braun.
Yeah,
Christian Brown.
I like Braun too. To put guys around Jokic and Jamal Murray together, to put the right pieces around them, to let them flourish and do what they do best. I think Denver Nuggets did an amazing job, and deservedly so, be the first time in their history to win this shit.
Unbelievable for them that they.
Oh man,
it's incredible. I can't wait if when they get it done, which they will. Just the conversations that will pop up in NBA media and Jokic, just about where he is and the in the upper echelons of players. I mean, he's incredible. He's so talented, and he plays the game the right way. I mean, you talk about it all the time, and you talked about it in college, how you and Melo and in high school now I'm learning, which is epic, that you learn how to win.
Mm-hmm.
You like LeBron has as much experience getting to the conference finals and the finals as anyone.
Anyone.
And you learn every time you do it. You learn new things
Mm-hmm.
and new ways to get better and to develop. And I think just people forget that. And they also, kudos just to the organization of the Nuggets for not putting too much pressure on their president of basketball operations, their coach, Mike Malone, and letting guys get back healthy. Because a lot of times what happens is there's so much external pressure that then things have to be changed. And you disrupt the flow.
Yeah. Like you fired Doc Rivers because James Harden and Joel Embiid had a bad game. What did he do wrong? He got his team there. He won games when Joel Embiid was out. You know, granted, James Harden went off, but that's what these players are supposed to do. This is what y'all paid them $30+ million for a year. So when these two guys don't show up and he gets fired, how's that fair? You know, every coach is good as his players, right? As good as his players, as good as
Well, something's got to change. The coach is always the first guy, right?
Yeah,
they get the.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. That's the sucky business of coaching and of the NBA life.
The one thing I'll say about like the good thing for the coaches is he's gonna get a job somewhere else. Like when you get into the NBA as a head coach and you've been there as long as Doc has, Monty Williams, Nick Nurse, like these coaches for the most part are not, hey, you got fired, hey, you're out of the league and you're never coaching again. Right. So thankfully they can still go get another job. Now, if the Celtics lose, it'd be interesting to watch and see what happens with Joe Mazzulla because he might have to go get an assistant position somewhere before he can go be a head coach again. But maybe that's what he needs. I don't know. Or maybe they get it done. But if they get it done,
you think they get rid of? You think
it's not because of him. It's not because of him that they get it done. Like you said, it's because of the guys out there.
Fast? You think they get rid of him that fast just because he didn't win his first year coaching?
I think it's a little unfair, but I also think this is a team that has been to the conference finals 3 years in a row. Like they went to the finals last year.
Then you gotta switch. You gotta switch some things up with some players. Maybe it's not the coaching at this point. I'm just saying. Like,
no, I don't think you're absolutely right. They don't have an excuse if they lose to this Heat team. They really don't. Like, their team's too good. They have too much talent.
Yeah, they're finna lose though. I'd be very surprised that they win 2 more, but it could happen. But I'd be very surprised.
Beating a team four times in a row is difficult.
Tough, very tough.
Tough. Yeah. Well, I love hearing about you and Melo back in the heyday, and then I'd be remiss if not just mentioning that then y'all, join forces once again in Oklahoma City, and at that point you guys are established veterans, both over 30. What was it like when y'all got back together in Oklahoma City, and at that point, like being in the locker room with young guys, and of course the star of that team, quote unquote, not quote unquote, Russell Westbrook. It's Russ's team.
Yep. PG comes over.
PG had a tremendous season that year. He ended up like top 5 in MVP, one of his best years of his career, which is saying something. Guys had a hell of a career. What happened in that first round? What happened? Because that was a young kid. That was a young kid that was the best player on their team on the Jazz.
Right, and honestly, like I'm not the type of person who make excuses, but Utah's a tough place to play, and those guys was good. They jumped on us and made it a series, but we fought back.
Yeah,
and Game 6 we should have won. Game 7 we going back to Oklahoma. They don't beat us. It wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to beat us. So Rudy Gobert gets switched off on PG. PG makes a move, pump fakes. This man jumps all the way up in the air off his feet. PG waits, bumps his body as he going up for the shot. Boom, throws it up. No call.
That's what, yeah.
I mean, they say like, referees, dictate the game, they cheat, they do things. I'm not the one gonna be out here go try to put that out that they cheated, but that was a bad no call. I'm not gonna say they cheated. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
they
well,
had
at
to
the
do
time, like
anything.
the rule change hadn't been made where
No,
you can't jump into them.
exactly.
That's a foul for
I
growing
mean,
up. That's every
that's a
time.
foul, but that's a foul now.
Yeah,
Even if this man left his feet, like he literally thought PG was gonna shoot that three.
right.
But the
He's in the
three,
landing zone when he comes back down.
we
Yeah,
needed a three. Like we needed a three. So the fact that he came up and pump fake and Rudy Gobert jumped like he really wanted to block this shot, like even today, that's still a foul because you got this man all the way off his feet, like to the point where he's out of control because he's
right.
really thinking he's going to block his shot. So even if you do throw your body into him, that's a foul today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of them, like some of those plays, these guys just be just doing extra stuff. Like a guy jump to the side of them, and they take their whole body and just throw it all the way over here to try to throw up a shot. There, yeah, that's not a foul. But when you get a man in the air like that, like that's a foul. So that was a tough loss for us, man, because I felt like we was good enough, to advance and maybe make some havoc.
Yeah. I mean, even more to what
Absolutely.
we are talking about before, like the margins are razor thin in the playoffs, and like one call like that, or one mistake, or one missed shot from a guy who normally makes it, like changes everything.
It hurt, man. It hurt. I've been a part of some good teams, man, and so it just hurts to just lose. My first 4 years in the league, like I got drugged with the Bobcats. After that, I made the playoffs every year to the end of my career, except for 1 year in Portland. So mine is that. So my first four, then another, 10 years after that. Only 1 year out of that, I didn't make the playoffs. 2 years. 2 years. 1 year with Portland, 1 year with the Knicks. Because my second year back with the Knicks, we didn't make the playoffs. After that good year we had, the next year we didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. So it was like, say y'all won like 30 something games that year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a tough year.
We didn't make the playoffs that year. So yeah. So basically, out of my career, what's that? 8 years. 8 years I was in the playoffs. 6 I wasn't. So, I take that all day. Just being able to just, be on teams where you're playing for something.
Right.
Because I started off my first four, we weren't playing. We was playing for something, obviously, but we wasn't good enough to make nobody's playoffs. You talking
Did
about
you
winning 18
did you feel
games.
like yeah, did you feel like that helped, like just thinking back on it, do you feel like it helped you or hurt you? Because in a way I could imagine that like you get a lot more opportunities to kind of find your game even more. Not that you didn't know what kind of player you were and who you were as a basketball player at that point, but different when you're getting into the NBA than how you played in college, obviously. But at the same time, I imagine you're like, well, I see what those other teams are doing, and like, I want to be there too.
You get more perks, and you get more, you get more perks. You get more TV games. You get more, more opportunity, more experience to, for better your career. When you're winning, when you're in playoffs and those type of games, and what I'm saying, because that's what happened with D. Will and CP. I went to an expansion team where we wasn't that good. These both guys get drafted to teams that was already established. CP, adding him to that team made New Orleans Hornets at that time, made them good. What I'm saying? So he did some great things there. And that's how he, built his career, built his name. You know what I'm saying? But D. Will, he goes to Utah. Utah was already an established good organization. Put in Jerry Sloan.
Right.
You put him in that mix, young point guard that can really play, he thrived.
Yeah. Couple of big white European guys that can play too.
Nah, they was good, man. Karolinko.
Mehmet Okur, dude.
Mehmet Okur. Yeah, they was good, man. But Carlos Boozer, like they was stacked over there, man. They were stacked. But just it's sometimes, man, it's all about where you go. I've seen guys get drafted high and just didn't work out for them. I've seen guys who get drafted low and get put in a great situation, and things just flourish for them. It's just sometimes it's all about the positioning and where you go.
Do you like? Do you think the term bust is like legit? Like, is that because
people say bust, but listen, man, if you're blessed to play the NBA, if you're blessed to walk across that stage and shake, David Stern's hand back in the day when I came out,
right?
Or now shake Adam Silver's hand. Listen, that's a blessing. I don't know, like people talk about bust this, bust that, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what sells on TV. That's what people like to talk about. You got to talk about something negative because that's the only thing that's exciting. I get it, but just the respect that I have for my colleagues, the respect that I have for other professional sports. If you're able to get in and play a year, to me, you ain't a bust. You're considered a professional. You're
Right.
considered a pro because you know what? There's a lot of other people, including probably some of the damn people that's talking shit. There's probably a lot of them that never got an opportunity to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't look at it like they talk about Kwame Brown. That man, like you say, I played 10 years. I'm a bust. So it's like, people say what they want, man, but it's very few that gets to put on that jersey.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I use the word, but I also, if I'm going to use it, I acknowledge that like context is everything, right? Like you said, who's drafting you? Like I would say, like Greg Oden got hurt. Greg Oden got hurt. Like that's not his.
Look at it, the Bennett kid.
Yeah.
That was at UNLV.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bust.
Okay. But to me, he was the number one pick. Wasn't he?
Yeah. By the Cavs.
Yeah. I'm talking about number one pick. What's a lot of people that can say that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I was the number one pick in the draft. Like, whatever.
I mean, I hit six threes. I hit six threes in a row.
You didn't do nothing when you got in there. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. But, I still got something under my belt that you don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, I went to the gym and shot the other day and I hit 6 threes in a row. That was a great day for me. You know what I mean? Like that, like that's why I said context matters. Like, the guy is an incredible basketball player, no doubt. Like,
I just feel like when the word bust is used, it's like, and this is what I try to teach my young guys now, is that these guys got in a situation that got comfortable and they didn't know how to work. They didn't know how to train themselves to get better, understanding what it takes to be a professional, what it takes to be in this NBA, because you got over 1,000 plus people coming in every year trying to steal your spot.
Now more than ever.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to get better this summer? How are you going to come back with something different? Like, how hard are you going to work? You know what I'm saying? Like this with the younger generation, and that kid is a young kid, like he never got better to me. I feel like he played the same way he did in college, the way he was able to dominate. But now you coming up against guys who are just as big as you, just as athletic as you, who can jump, shoot, run, like all these things that you was able to do at a collegiate level that made you special. But now you up here where everybody's like that. So what are you going to do to fit in? What are you going to do to get better? And he never could figure that out.
Well, and like you said with Carmelo, like a lot of those moves he already had, but the efficiency, being able to hit that shot 8 times out of 10 instead of 6 times out of 10, like those
worked on his body because Melo was a skinny 6'7" guy.
Yeah,
but
and also work on your body as your body changes too.
Yeah, exactly. So as he got better, as he got older, he got better, he got bigger. So now those jabs and those body blows to your chest was hurting. So he was aggressive. Melo was an aggressive scorer. So when he hit you, boom, Paul Pierce talks about it. I heard Paul Pierce talk about it the other day. How Melo was like the toughest guy to guard because he used to hit you. It used
Right.
to hurt to play against him because he was attacking you and he was hitting you with that body.
Right here, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, like, I don't know, it's just a difference. It's just a work ethic. And I think just, my era and before me, like, the just knew the way to work. We just knew how to work. We knew how to grind. We knew how to get in the gym and just get at it. I think now more so these kids now just, some of them, not all of them, some of them work now for the likes
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It starts, I imagine, with putting the blinders on and getting rid of all the other stuff, the distractions that are here, that are so available to everyone. And for kids these days, like growing up with that in your hand, 12 hours of the day, you're there, right? You're there. And that's where it starts.
Being an AAU coach, I deal with that so much.
Yeah.
Everybody want to post the good stuff, but let's post these turnovers that you had at the end of the game. The reason why we lost, we ain't gonna post that though, but we're gonna post all the good stuff that that ball or TV or ball life, ball is
life. Yeah.
These people are posting on you and talking about such a great kid, is a great talent, and this and that. And granted, that's good. I love that for the kids. I love them to get that publicity. But me, I'm a type of coach. I don't care about none of that. I care about the fact that they showing all these highlights, but then when the game got on the line, you made 2 turnovers that cost us the game. Now let's talk about that. Now let's watch that on film.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna praise my kids all day. I'm gonna praise you. I'm gonna tell you I'm proud of you. I'm gonna tell you y'all did a great job. But when you mess up too, I'm gonna let you know that as well.
There you go.
To. I got to, because I'm not doing my job as a coach. I'm not making you better if I'm sitting here just praising you, but not making you better because you out here still making stupid turnovers when the game is on the line. Like, that's when you show me what type of player you are, not in the flow of the game. When the last 3-4 minutes and the game gets tough, who can be that guy to go make shots? Who can be that guy to make plays to win? So I don't know. It's just interesting to kind of grow with this generation now. You know what I'm saying? It's just to be able to just teach and make them understand that, it's not always about the highlights. It's not always going to be pretty. But if you win, I promise you, everybody is going to eat. And that's the one thing that these kids don't understand. It's all about them, individual. My highlights, my this, I did this, but we lost. So
there you go. Some wise words from Coach Raymond, who's got a tourney this weekend. Good luck there. Where are you headed?
Appreciate it. Memphis.
All right.
May Hoops Championship. So
there you go. Well, good luck to the squad out there. Thanks for hopping on. Congratulations once again to Carmelo for an incredible career. And we can't wait for the second act. We'll be back next week, maybe the following. We'll see, but we'll know our finals matchup at that point. That's it. Feltz and Tass, we out of here. Thanks, Raymond.
All right, buddy.